When I caught the ball, I just, like John said, I was angry. So just a bunch of rage and trying to find ways to just dominate, regardless of what they throw, double, triple, quadruple. Coach comes on the court and guards me as well. I don't care. Just find ways to put the ball in the bucket.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, Antoine. Doesn't care if the coach comes on. I would care. It's a technical foul, but I like the sentiment. Does Cat playing with a bunch of rage scare you, Antoine? You had the Grizz.
Well, let me say this. Let me address this first. All of a sudden now, Cat, you got a voice. You got a press conference. Obviously, game 3, you play bad. You don't want to talk. No comment. You get 33 and 14. You get all the great comments in the world. So I don't like that part of it. If you're gonna be a superstar, be a superstar in this league. Take the good with the bad. He responded, so I'm going to pay respects to that. He responded the way a superstar is supposed to respond in this league. Great performance to get this series tied back up. But I go back to a comment that I said in the beginning about this series. This is a bad matchup for Memphis. This is a matchup that they even want to see. It's a team that's young, that's just as athletic as they are. They got multiple guys who can put the ball in the basket. So I said this is going to be a 6-7 game series, and that's what it's going to be. I think Memphis gets out this series, even if it takes 7 games. But in order for them to win this series, some guys have got to step up. And this team, the Memphis plays about 10 people on this team. But Jaren Jackson Jr. is playing horrible this series. He's shooting 37% from the field, 31 from the 3. Then Anthony Milton, a guy that they rely on too as well, has been terrible, 16 and 14% from the three-point line. Those guys have got to get better. I like the adjustment that they made, going small, taking Steven Adams out the lineup. Brandon Clark has been terrific this series and gave him a lot of energy. Xavier Tillman in short minutes has been good. But this is a team that relies on 10 people. That 21-2 was not a joke. They're one of the few teams in this league that relies on 10 people to play well. And Ja has to get out of foul trouble. You can't be the leader of this team and every game you're in foul trouble and you're guarding Patrick Beverley. You can't not be in foul trouble and you're guarding Patrick Beverley. No offense to Patrick, but he's not an offensive juggernaut. And he had a great offensive game in game 3. Ooh, but you got to be better. You got to be better defensively and not get in foul trouble. They need you on the floor. But as a collective group, this is a wake-up call for Memphis. This series is going to go 6 or 7 games. I think they're going to get out of it. I still believe that. I got them getting out the Western Conference. And you're not catching anybody by surprise. You got to come ready to play. This is going to be a tough series, but I think they'll get out. Home court advantage will help them tremendously in this series.
Twine, if your Grizzlies survive this series, this will be great for them, right? Like, they'll learn from this, and I think they'll be better in the next series if they get through this because they will have gone through, a tough situation together and overcome. But to your point, it's going to be tough. And you mentioned the foul trouble for Ja. That's the key, Wilds, for Karl Anthony Towns. It's not his rage and his anger. Look, I think Karl Anthony Towns is a great player. And he's from the area I live in, New Jersey. I remember him in high school. And even then, the knock on him, though, in high school was that he's soft. So nobody in the NBA is afraid of Karl Anthony Towns. Nobody in Memphis is like, oh my gosh, he's enraged now. He's so ferocious. He's going to have to beat people with his skill and his ability. And the way he can do it is staying out of foul trouble. That's been his problem. He led the NBA in fouls per game this year, and that's what hinders him. Game 1, only 3 fouls, 29 and 13. Games 2 and 3, 5 fouls each, he struggles. Game 4, only 3 fouls, 33 and 14, Nick. So, look, I'm with Twine in that I think Memphis wins this series in 7 in my pick. But I give Minnesota a legitimate chance in this thing.
Oh.
Okay, listen, I have mass respect and love for Brew and Antoine, so I hate to do this. But you guys have totally missed the point of this segment. Nobody gives a damn what you two think of this series. They're here for Wilds. On this series, this is the Kevin Wild show. Nobody cares what I think of this series either. That we are here to find out what Wilds we're
Where
going to
is
get
Wilds?
because he
Who-
was all in on
who's he
Ja,
pulling for?
then he was all in on the Timberwolves, then he abandoned the Timberwolves, but now they've won. Wilds has managed to be
abandon
wrong, I think, about every game of the series so far. So now I'm just
Not true.
curious where you're at on it.
Okay, here's the full story, and it's a little bit complicated, so bear with me. I've been in on Ja the whole time. I got a little too excited about the Wolves in the play-in game. Everyone went against them, so I called the upset alert with the Wolves. I tried to go back to Ja, and Ja said, no, you switched up, stay over there. I said, please. He said, you switched up, stay over there. So I'm stuck here. And then the Wolves gave up a huge lead. I said, this is the worst day of being a Minnesota Timberwolves fan in my entire life. But guess what? Oh, just like the Bud list. It wasn't an indictment. It was an inspiration. And then Cat showed up in a big way. That's what I wanted. And guess who didn't show up? And he was very honest about it. I still have a lot of love for Ja in my heart here. But Ja said, hey, I'm not being Ja. I don't know if we have that sound. Can we play the sound of Ja saying that he's having trouble with the Wolves defense? Take a listen.
I'm not Ja right now. I feel like I've seen y'all tweets. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not playing, above the rim. Most of the time when I go to the rack, I'm getting bumps, all this. I just got to, worry about, finishing the bucket instead of, worrying about, the guys with stripes on.
But I thought that was very honest and transparent, that he seems to know what the issue is. He's been looking to get other guys involved, but now he has to take over. The question is, Antoine, do you think it's going to happen? Do you expect a monster game out of Ja moving forward?
I definitely expect a monster game. He'll play better at home, and usually young guys, especially young stars, do play better at home. But I like the fact that he took ownership of it. He knows he's not playing up to his capabilities and not finishing at the basket, so that speaks volumes. But Ja got to understand, you're a superstar now. You're an all-star now. Whatever happened in the regular season, you're not going to do in the postseason. Teams are geared up. They got scouting reports. They're going to get better. They know your strengths and weaknesses. So those are things that he's got to learn as he continues to grow throughout these playoffs, that you're not going to get the same things that you were getting during the regular season. And that's got to come from coaching. The coaching staff has got to let him know that and let him figure out that, hey, it's going to be different. It's going to be tougher. So you got to get tougher. And I like the fact he says he's going to get the referees out of his mind and just go finish. He's too good of a player not to be able to do that.
Let's go. I still got the Wolves on upset alert. Guess who else is going on upset alert? The Suns. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, got the upset alert. There it is. More first things first after the break.